Welcome back to the gift of inner success, daily invitations. It's been quite a journey, and our final journey stop is oneness, compassion. Oneness and compassion. Being at one with yourself, being kind, being compassionate. Whatever school of thought or influence you've had in your life, it would seem that there's one route. Of course, that one route might go by all sorts of names, but it's irrelevant because it's one route. Some will say the root is God. Some say the root is the Big Bang. Some will say that everything just is. The point here is that there's one route. One route. Everyone is interrelated, interdependent. We forget this. We forget that we're interdependent. If you could go far enough and look down the planet, you'd be far enough away, you'd be able to see the borders and the division, which are all man-made. So if you were able to go distant enough from the planet, beyond seeing all the divisions, you'll realize it's just one connected thing, beyond the borders, beyond the divisions. And the divisions are, of course, not just man-made, but mind-made. All that really separates is our thoughts. And we started out without thoughts, without names, without ideas, without concepts. Where are the divisions? Today, through this book, we've taken a look back at that point prior to thoughts. Those two babies in the pen were not in conflict with each other, they were at peace. Maybe you remember this. Talking about how the fact that two babies, you could put them in the same pen, their parents of different backgrounds, different experiences, different colours. The babies, of course, know nothing of it. And so by fostering this peace in yourself, there's so much that can blossom. Your innate talents can flow. Then the question arises, what in my life really resonates with me? This is, of course, a question for the mind. And the mind will continue to ask questions. And that is fine because you will know that the questions are the nature of the mind. You will know that the mind flutters, but you will be unconcerned by it. The mind will over time become more quiet and do the job of working material things out as best it does. In that sense, it is the material offshoot of the spirit. They are of one. You're best armed to be able to address these questions from this place of peace. And as you gently brush all these thoughts and fears to one side, you'll probably find that your heart, you'll find in your heart that they have particular things that they want you to do. Now this is very important because this is the space between how we bring the head and the heart back in alignment. Because the mind will still be wondering, well, how am I going to move forward in my life? How am I going to address the things that I have got to address? This inner finding, this spiritual being, this spiritual experience, this inner fulfillment, this peace of mind is very, very beautiful, but how is it going to serve me? And so that you'll find that some questions still bubble up and they still do arise. And what we're wanting to find is this space where the mind can just gently bring to your consciousness, what is it that most resonates with me? And that we're able to move in that direction. So what we're wanting to do now is to begin to bring the head and the heart back in balance. Because as we move beyond this series, you're going to be stepping back into your world. And after this chapter, I'm going to add a few special additions, a meditation, a summary of this book, and how it is that you can bring the gift into your own life. But before we can do even that, we need to understand this core space of oneness and compassion. This place where the head and the heart meet, when the heart can be alive and vibrant through a quiet mind. And so by fostering this peace in yourself, there's so much that can blossom and your innate talents can flow. Then the question arises, what in my life really resonates with me? This, of course, is a question for the mind, and the mind will continue to ask questions. And that is fine, because you'll know that all the answers are the nature of the mind, all the questions rather are the nature of the mind, and that you know that the mind flutters, but you'll be unconcerned by it. The mind will from time to time become more quiet and do the job of working the material things out as best it does. In that sense, it is the material offshoot of the spirit. They are of one. You're best armed to be able to address these questions from this place of peace. And as you gently brush all the thoughts and fears aside, you'll probably find that your heart, that you've had particular things that you've wanted to do. You can ask yourself, what steps do I need to take in order to take place? And there's a plethora of sources of information out there and processes that can help you to reconnect with yourself. So I'm not going to spend any time here talking about what you should do and how you should move forward, because the most powerful things happen when you take that moment to stop. In fact, as the mind settles back into the heart, you'll find that you naturally blossom, because you will grow rich, you'll branch out, you'll flourish in the direction of your innate nurtured gifts that you have. It is a natural process. As the fog clears, there is clarity, and one can move forward. Stop chasing through the forest to become. Instead, gently retrace your steps. This leads you to where you've always been. Even the idea of the journey is simply that. What we've done here is gently to retrace these steps, and we've arrived back home through remembering that we're already whole and fulfilled. Any baby would tell you this, if they could. This connectedness, this joy, this is happiness, this is the gift of inner success. And from this gift, everything can blossom by being one with yourself. So I'd encourage you to perhaps spend a few minutes after reading this book, after hearing these invitations, to be with yourself and to be silent. And if you find that you might want to return here from time to time, or return whenever this works for you, to keep you at peace with yourself, then this by all means is here to pour back into your consciousness. I wish you every happiness. So this final chapter is the invitation to live life from the heart, to realize that the mind does flutter from time to time. It will ask you questions from time to time, but by being still, by retracing your steps, by being at one with yourself, you'll find that instead of you trying to shape life, you'll find that you're lived. I have a saying, if you listen quietly enough to life, it will whisper its secrets to you. What we're going to do after this is to bring in some special meditations and special extras. Thank you.